My little brother went from a total loser to a straight A student overnight because he snagged a genius system. Naturally, Mom and Dad spoiled him even more than before. But who would have guessed that right during the state finals, the most important exams of our lives, his system would glitch out? Meanwhile, I got into Harvard on pure merit. Mom grabbed the Harvard recruiter's hand. How about this? You guys take my son, Jaden. Lily is the older sister, she should step aside for her brother. When we were 5, my twin brother Jaden snuck out to play in the creek. He came back with a fever that wouldn't break. My mom, superstitious and looking for a scapegoat, beat me for being a bad influence. She listened to some fortune teller who said Jaden and I were cosmically incompatible. That very night, she shipped me off to live with my Aunt May in a small town upstate. I didn't come back for 10 years. Later, I scored top of the county in my middle school exams. The prestigious magnet school in the city, Capitol High, offered me a spot. After talking it over, Aunt May and Uncle Ben decided it was best to send me back to my parents so I could attend. My bags were piled up in my parents' living room. Jaden scoffed, "What is all this junk? Do we even have room for this trash?" Aunt May looked a bit hurt. "These are Lily's things. If we organize a bit, they'll fit." She clutched her teacup, nervously giving Mom instructions. Jaden is allergic to mangoes. He hates ginger, but he loves pot roast. And I know he's a big boy now, but he still kicks the covers off at night, so remember to. Mom cut her off. Enough. He's my own child. You think I don't know how to take care of him? After lunch, Aunt May insisted on heading back. I walked her downstairs, gripping her sleeve, refusing to let go. When her bus approached, she touched my face, her eyes red. "It's not that we don't want you, honey. This is for your future. The schools in the city are miles better than what we have upstate. You know Uncle Ben and I love you like our own daughter." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Study hard, remember to eat properly and call me." The bus arrived. She wiped her eyes aggressively with her sleeve and boarded. As it pulled away, she sat by the window, sticking her head out and waving frantically for me to go back inside. I remembered when I was 5, and Mom dropped me off at Aunt May's. She left without a backward glance. I chased her bus for a mile, crying until my lungs burned, but she never turned her head once. I stood there watching until the bus was a speck on the horizon, before walking back to a strange house. The door clicked shut. My luggage had been tossed into the hallway. The thick door couldn't muffle the argument inside. "Did you even ask me before bringing that jinx back into this house? Oh, so just because she got top scores upstate, you don't want me anymore?" I heard Mom and Dad soothing him. "Even if your sister is a genius, you're still the most important thing to us. Just treat her like a stray dog or cat. You are Mom's favorite baby." Clouds churned in the sky outside. I sat in the hallway, pulling out my textbooks, reading by the dim light. When the sun went down, the bedroom door finally opened. Mom snatched my math book away. "Get up. Your brother is in a bad mood because of his test scores. Don't sit here reading in front of him, it's provoking him." "It's hilarious," Jaden sneered from the couch. "He's lazy and stupid. Does everyone else have to be an idiot just to make him feel better?" Mom snapped, "I don't care about other people. You're his sister. You need to look out for him." At dinner, Jaden asked for ginger chicken stew. Mom made a huge pot, loaded with ginger slices. Jaden shoveled a heap of ginger onto my plate, grinning maliciously. "Here, sis. Mom's specialty. Eat up." Then he poured me a glass of mango juice. "I squeezed this myself just for you." Mom beamed. "Look how sweet your brother is, always thinking of you." Right. He knew I hated ginger, so he piled my plate with it. He knew I was allergic to mangoes, so he poured me a tall glass. I picked up the glass and splashed it right into his face. "Thanks, but no thanks." My parents exploded. "Your brother didn't mean it. Why is your temper so nasty?" Mom grabbed my arm. "Apologize to your brother right now." I shook her off, ran into the study, and locked the door. Not happening. I wasn't that brainwashed 4-year-old terrified of being abandoned anymore. They couldn't guilt trip me with that be a good big sister garbage. In the middle of the night, Jaden claimed his stomach hurt. A blind man could see through his bad acting. Mom actually went to the kitchen, scooped up a bowl of leftover sticky rice water, and threw it over me. to wash away the bad spirits. Stop cursing your brother. Jaden smirked at me behind her back. Furious, I grabbed the bowl and chucked it at him, earning another round of screaming from my parents. Dad paid a hefty bribe and pulled some strings so Jaden could attend the same magnet high school as me. The night before classes started, Mom lectured me. You two are in the same class. You need to tutor your brother. Jaden was playing video games and rolled his eyes. Who needs her help? So she was top of the class in the boonies? Big deal. Here, she's just the tail of the lion. I smiled faintly. If I'm the tail, you're the asshole. Your only function is spewing crap. Jaden threw his phone down and pointed a finger at my nose. Lily, just you wait. The placement exams are coming up. I'm going to crush you. It was absurd. Anyone could beat me, theoretically, but him? A buy-in student? With what? Fueled by rage, I crammed until 2 a.m. Jaden played video games until 2 a.m. As expected, the placement exam was brutal, covering advanced material we hadn't learned yet. After the test, Mom and Dad chased after Jaden. Baby, how did you do? Too easy, he bragged. I'm definitely getting first place. He looked at me. I'll show you what a real genius looks like. Mom's eyes disappeared in a smile. My baby is so confident. That's my boy. There might be geniuses in this world, but he wasn't one of them. Monday came, and the results were in. Our homeroom teacher, Mr. Chong, walked in with a stack of papers, beaming. Our class did excellent. We have the grades number 1 and number 2 students. He looked at me. Lily is number 2 in the entire grade. Coming from upstate and scoring this high shows she put in the work. Everyone should learn from her. The class applauded politely. Jaden looked annoyed and shouted, So who's number 1? Mr. Chong looked a bit weird. He cleared his throat. I had a bad feeling. Number 1 is you, Jaden. The room exploded with whispers. Isn't he the buy-in student? He didn't even break 400 on the entrance exams, and now he's scoring over 700? That's insane. Did he cheat? Leak the paper? I felt sick. Him. How? Mr. Chong raised a hand for silence. Jaden's exams were proctored by the dean himself. There was no cheating and no leaks. The slacker's sudden rise to genius became the school's hottest rumor. He stopped me in the hallway, gloating. You're 15 points behind me. Do you understand what 15 points means? It's a chasm you will never cross. I stared him down. I don't know how you did it, but I don't believe you can get this lucky every time. He shrugged. Just watch. When we got home, Mom and Dad went berserk with joy. That night, Mom's colleague, Mr. Lee, dropped his daughter off nearby. His daughter, Chloe, was in our class and ranked 15th. Mom couldn't wait to brag about Jaden. Mr. Lee smiled politely. Lily got 2nd place. That's amazing too. Mom waved it off. How can she compare to Jaden? She just got lucky. Jaden is the real genius. Jaden became a campus celebrity. Teachers called on him constantly. But his attitude was trash. This is too simple. Why waste my time? Don't interrupt my nap. I'll still get first place next time. When people asked him for help, he mocked them. Don't waste my genius on these idiot questions. Many thought he was faking it, but some girls whispered, wow, he's so cool. Like the main character in a novel. Yeah, cool if you have excrement for brains. Mom and Dad were already biased, but with these scores, they became insufferable. In our house, even Jaden's farts smelled like roses. I didn't care. I had one goal, crush him in the midterms. Chloe and I became friends. Seeing me studying during lunch, she snatched my book away. Do you have to be this intense? Give the rest of us a chance to breathe. I don't want to lose to Jaden. Chloe handed the book back. Fine, but eat first. Then we studied together. We crushed difficult problem sets. We dug up the past 5 years of midterm exams. We quizzed each other on vocab while biking home. Midterms arrived. The night before the exam, I went to shower and forgot to lock my door. When I came back, my desk was covered in milk. My textbooks and notebooks were soaked. My ink pens and erasers were swimming. Jaden stood by the door holding an empty glass, feigning innocence. Whoops. Hand slipped. I saw red. You're young to have Parkinson's. Better get that checked before you're paralyzed by 28. Mom stormed in and scolded me without asking a single question. Lily, why are you so vicious? Cursing your brother like that? She turned to Jaden, her voice dripping with honey. Baby, why did you spill your milk? I'll heat you another cup. Big test tomorrow, drink up and sleep early. Jaden gave me a sinister grin. I need my beauty sleep. Unlike some people, I don't need to pull all-nighters. I went into the midterms ready for war. I didn't believe luck would favor him 3 times in a row. The results came out. I scored 692. I almost cried with relief. I improved by 8 points. I had this. But on the ranking board, Jaden was number 1. He scored 702. After the placement exam, people suspected foul play. But after the midterms, they started to believe. Maybe he really is a genius. Geniuses have quirks. It's normal. Chloe got 10th place. She squeezed my hand. It's okay, Lily. We'll get him next time. Jaden walked past us and overheard. He sneered. Still haven't given up? You can grind until 1 a.m. every night, and you still won't beat me reading a comic book for 2 hours. 100 of you combined couldn't beat me. I didn't believe it. If 1 a.m. wasn't enough, I'd do 1:30. If 1 practice test wasn't enough, I'd do 2. If my method was wrong, I'd change it. It felt like a giant boulder was crushing me, but I wasn't afraid. I would push against it with everything I had. Even if I couldn't lift it, I would find a crack between the rock and the hard ground and bloom through it. Meanwhile, Jaden continued to sleep, skip class and game until dawn. Even Mr. Chong warned him, if you keep slacking, Lily is going to surpass you. He scoffed. In her dreams. My parents dismissed my effort. Don't be a bookworm. Learn from your brother. He relaxes and still gets first place. I was seething. I held on to that anger, determined to win the finals. I did well, 700 points. The first time I ever hit that mark. But Jaden scored 706. Aunt May called to ask how I did. I did great. Second in the grade. Aunt May paused. Then why do you sound so sad? Is studying too hard? During the Chinese New Year, relatives gathered. Mom and Dad praised Jaden to the heavens. All the compliments flowed toward him. Aunt May held my hand. Lily did wonderful too. Mom waved her hand. Can't compare to Jaden. After dinner, Aunt May and Uncle Ben asked me to walk them to the supermarket. I held Aunt May's arm, walking through streets decorated with red lanterns. Everyone looked happy, but I had a storm cloud over my head. Aunt May touched my cheek. Look at you, all skin and bones. You didn't beat your brother, so you're hurting? He's a paper tiger. You built your knowledge brick by brick. She smiled at me. In my heart, you're the genius. Gimko ben naidid. Exactly. Luck can vanish in a second, but skill is carved into your bones. In the distance, the sun peeked out from under heavy clouds, lining them with gold. Uncle Ben was right. Skill is carved into the bone. I was only a sophomore. I had time. After New Year's, Mr. Chong found me. Registration for the National Olympiads is open. Math and physics. You can pick one. A first-place prize is basically a golden ticket to Harvard or MIT. What high schooler could refuse that? I agreed immediately. But when I brought the permission slip home, my parents refused to sign. Your brother said he isn't doing it, so you aren't either. I almost lost it. Why? If he doesn't want to go, that's his problem. I want to go. His grades are fake. That's why he's scared of a real competition exposing him. But I'm not scared. I have the skill. Jaden shouted me down, his voice venomous. Mom, if you agree to this, I'll score last place on the next exam just to spite you. Mom's face went pale. Baby, don't talk crazy. You can't joke with your grades. Don't worry, your dad and I won't agree. Anger, helplessness, and despair pierced my chest like a knife. I shouted through tears, am I not your child? Doesn't my future matter? Why are you clipping my wings? Dad's face darkened. Is that how you talk to your elders? Who pays your tuition? If you were really talented, you wouldn't need a competition to get into Harvard. I was too naive. I actually thought they might have a shred of love for me. Aunt May and Uncle Ben heard the news and drove down to argue with them. It turned into a screaming match. Dad shouted, she's the big sister. What's wrong with sparing her brother's feelings? Aunt May looked disappointed. I'm a big sister too. I've looked out for you my whole life, not because I had to, but because you're my family. You disappoint me, Shin Chong. Aunt May slammed the door and left. When I chased after her, she was wiping her eyes. If I knew it would be like this, I would have kept you upstate. It's my fault your future is being ruined. I hugged her tight. It's okay, Auntie. Even without the competition, I can still. I wiped my tears. When I make money, the first thing I'll do is take care of you and Uncle Ben. I worked harder than ever. I refused to believe fate would keep playing tricks on me. Even Mr. Chong told me, Lily, relax a little. Don't snap the string. However, throughout sophomore year, Jaden stayed at number 1. I trailed him by 6 points, then 5. He was a legend now. Boys envied him, girls adored him. He got stacks of love letters. He accepted every gift girls bought him. He flirted with one girl today and another tomorrow. He was juggling more boats than an octopus. Even Chloe slipped up once. Your brother. He does have a certain swagger. Junior year started. We were tracked into the same AP honors class. After class, a student asked me for help. When I finished explaining, he looked at me with starry eyes. Lily, you're amazing. Always number 2. Jaden walked by and laughed cruelly. Of course. I give her special tutoring before every exam. I exploded. Who accepted your tutoring? I'm pointing at this calculus problem right now. If you're so smart, solve it. Jaden waved his hand dismissively. Fine. It's all your own hard work. Nothing to do with me. It looked like I won the argument, but everyone assumed he was just being modest and letting me save face. It was laughable. My blood, sweat, and tears were dismissed as his charity. Students started sucking up to him, begging for his pre-exam tutoring. The girl who asked me the question looked envious. Jaden is your brother? You're so lucky. Lucky. I was living in hell. That day, I realized I couldn't live under the same roof as him. He was draining the life out of me. If I asked to move out, they'd refuse. I had to make them kick me out. I turned off the Wi-Fi router when he was in a ranked match. I shut off the water heater while he was showering. I cut up his favorite sneakers. I cut the crotch out of his designer jeans. I took several beatings from Mom and Dad, until finally Jaden snapped. Get out. Mom was disgusted. I didn't know you were this jealous of your brother. Your heart is so small. Get out of this house. Jaden screamed, and don't pay her tuition. Not a penny. Tears welled in my eyes, tears of joy. It was exactly what I wanted. Aunt May and Uncle Ben supported me moving out and covered the costs. I should have done it sooner. Every second spent entangled with him was a waste of life. I had a fresh start. I got up at 5 a.m. and slept at midnight. I took a 20-minute nap at noon. I ate meals in 15 minutes flat. I was going all in. But for a whole year, I didn't go shopping, didn't look at the scenery, didn't relax for a minute. Yet in the 3 major exams of junior year, I was still pinned under Jaden's foot by 5 points. Finals arrived. A flu swept through the dorms. I studied until 2 a.m. and woke up dizzy. Afraid drowsiness would affect my test, I didn't take meds. I took the exam in a fever haze. 2 days later, scores came out. I got 680. Rank 15. Jaden got 712. Rank 1. I crumbled the report card, watching him bask in adoration. He looked up from the crowd and sneered. Lily, you bombed it? Looks like without my tutoring, you really are useless. I lost it. I grabbed a pencil case off a desk and hurled it at him. He dodged. It hit the floor and exploded, pens scattering everywhere. I squatted to pick them up and found my favorite pen snapped in half. It was expensive, a gift from cousin Matt when I topped the county exams. He said, use this and you'll always be number 1. I'm sorry, Matt. I can't be number 1. I really can't. Huge teardrops smashed onto the floor. Jaden's hateful voice drilled into my ears. Mad because you're embarrassed? With that mental fortitude, no wonder you can't beat me. Give up. You mortals can't catch up to geniuses like us. Accept the gap. I pressed the broken pen tip into my finger. If I jumped up now and stabbed this into his throat, he'd never laugh at me again, right? My grip tightened. I was ready to snap. Suddenly, a soft hand grabbed my wrist. It was Chloe. She smiled gently. Let me help you. She quickly gathered the pens and pulled me out of the classroom. Behind us, Jaden laughed. Admit it, Lily. I'm the protagonist. You're just a supporting character meant to make me look good. Outside, storm clouds rolled. A summer downpour was imminent. Chloe dragged me all the way to the camphor tree by the track. Panting, she said, Lily, you're obsessed with being first. It's toxic. The world is huge. You can't always be the best. I shouted back, I don't need to be first. I just want to beat him. He's lazy, stupid, selfish, and evil. Why does he get to crush me? I can accept anyone else winning because they work for it. But he gets it for free, making my years of effort look like a joke. I looked at the darkening sky, eyes burning. Chloe, do you know the NPC theory? I feel like there's a giant hand controlling fate, and I'm just his toy, his foil. No matter what I do, I can't win because my code says I'm the loser. I looked at her through tears. If I'm just a toy, does my effort even imply meaning? Raindrops began to fall, hitting Chloe's nose. She shoved me. Go. Go where? Wherever you want. I'll cover for you. You need a break. She shoved me again. Go. I turned and ran toward the patch of light in the clouds. I ran faster and faster. When I came to my senses, I was on a bus back upstate. I pushed through the wind and rain, lifting the yellowed plastic curtain of the small convenience store. Aunt May was tallying accounts and didn't look up. Grab what you want. Aunt May. She froze, looked up, and gasped. Child, why are you soaked like this? She dried my hair with a fresh towel, closed the shop, and took me home. My room was exactly as I left it. The little bare nightlight was wiped clean, dust-free. I showered. Uncle Ben came home. He stood by the window and waved me over. Come look. The storm was raging. A baby crow had fallen from its nest, battered by the rain, head tucked into its chest. Its parents circled low, cawing frantically. The little bird opened its wings, trying to fly. It got 4 inches off the ground before, smack, it hit the mud. Once, twice, 5 times, 10 times. The rain got heavier. The bird could barely open its eyes. But after a brief rest, it tried again. After countless attempts, I couldn't watch. Should we go bring it in? Uncle Ben shook his head. No. He's got this. Thunder rolled, shaking the earth. Lightning tore the sky. The wind knocked over a sapling, threatening to crush the bird. I gasped, thinking it was over. But right then, a small black shadow shot out from the pine needles, charging into the storm. 4 inches, 20 inches, 3 feet. It flew to the height of the 3rd floor, soaring through the rain. Thunder, lightning, and needles of rain couldn't stop its wings. Uncle Ben turned to me and smiled. See, that bird failed dozens of times, but he succeeded in the end. You've barely started. Summer storms come fast and leave fast. A brilliant rainbow hung across the sky. I've barely started. Even if fate cast me as a supporting character, I wouldn't accept it. I would tear through the thunder, the rain, and the lightning to find my own rainbow. I stayed at Aunt May's until senior year cram school started. Uncle Ben drove me back. At the dorms, he patted my shoulder. Lily, life is long. What you learn through effort stays with you forever. Eventually, you'll win a round. But you have to work hard, and you have to have patience. Right. Life is a marathon. I'd win eventually. Maybe because I let go of the obsession, studying became easier. I focused on bettering myself, not watching Jaden. Chloe sighed in relief. That's the spirit. Stop backing yourself into a corner. Senior year was an endless sea of problem sets and exams. City mocks, provincial mocks. Jaden remained a legend, sitting at number 1. I was usually number 2, sometimes dropping to 3rd. Mr. Chung encouraged me. Honestly, I'd bet on you. Your foundation is solid. You can build a skyscraper on it without worrying about it collapsing. Yes. My grades were built point by point. I had substance. Jaden didn't think so. As long as I get the high score on the big day, who cares? Only idiots read books. Mom and Dad had their noses in the air whenever they talked to relatives. Do you think Jaden should go to Harvard or MIT? Ideally both. It's so hard to choose. I didn't go back upstate that year. Uncle Ben and Cousin Matt visited me. Aunt May was too busy with the store. The countdown on the blackboard ticked away. The giant wheel of the state finals rolled toward us. Jaden and I were assigned to different rooms at the same testing center. Before the first exam, he found me grinning broadly. Lily, you don't know, do you? Aunt May has cancer. Treatment costs $100 grand. Uncle Ben asked Mom and Dad for money, but they're saving it all for me. They won't lend her a dime. Once I get state valedictorian, I'll get a huge cash prize. If you kneel and beg me, maybe I'll lend it to you. Aunt May. Cancer. My brain buzzed. The more I thought about it, the more I felt Jaden wasn't lying. The bell rang. I couldn't calm down. My hand shook holding the pen. Anxious and terrified, Jaden's words popped into my head. Huge cash prize. If I could win that money, I could save Aunt May. I took a deep breath and started the test. After the exam, I called Aunt May. She denied it instantly. Don't listen to your brother's nonsense. He's vicious. I'm fine. But her heavy breathing betrayed her. After the final subject, classmates asked Jaden to go to the internet cafe. Compare answers? Why bother? You guys didn't beat me anyway. He sneered. I saw you left the last math question blank. Kiss that state school goodbye. He turned to another guy. And you don't check. With your basics, even a miracle wouldn't get you into the Ivy League. You should all cherish this time with me. Once I'm at Harvard, we won't be in the same social class anymore. Everyone looked sick. Jaden stopped me as I hurried past. Lily, how did you like my pre-exam surprise? Bet you tested great, huh? I steadied myself. As for you, don't celebrate too early. Outside the gates, Cousin Matt was waiting. Let's go. Mom is waiting. Aunt May had lost so much weight. Her eyes were sunken, face pale, arms covered in bruises. She touched my hand with the hand that had an 4 in it. I didn't affect your exam, did I? I shook my head violently, tears streaming down. Why are you crying? I'll live to see you get into Harvard. I'll live to help you raise your kids. It was acute aplastic anemia. It progressed fast. She needed a bone marrow transplant. We needed to prep $100,000 immediately. The house upstate wasn't worth much and wouldn't sell fast. The hospital stay had already burned through their savings. Uncle Ben's hair had turned half white. Whenever anyone asked, Jaden bragged, state valedictorian is definitely me. Harvard or MIT. Depends on who begs harder. Mom and Dad told everyone, Jaden never studies. He's a natural genius. Harvard is lucky to have him. When asked about me, they waved a hand. Lily can't compare to Jaden. Doesn't matter if a girl goes to college anyway. Jaden took Mom's bank card and PIN. He waved it at me. Kneel. Beg. If you're sincere, maybe I'll loan you some. I desperately needed that money. But I knew kneeling would only buy me humiliation, not help. He leaned in, his voice pure venom. When the Harvard recruiters come, I'll tell them I refuse to be in the same school as you. Jaden spent his days watching live streams, gaming, and treating his friends to expensive meals with Mom's card. Meanwhile, Uncle Ben cared for Aunt May and begged for loans. I stayed by her bedside day and night praying. A miracle happened. 2 days before scores were released, the hospital found a marrow match. I went home to beg my parents. Mom was impatient. We don't have it. Even if you cure her, she won't be normal. Why waste the money? I pleaded, I'm going to get into Harvard. I'll pay you back with the scholarship money. Aunt May has been good to you over the years. Mom frowned. You think you're your brother? Harvard material? Being relatives doesn't mean we have to pay for a bottomless pit. She turned around and booked a graduation banquet for Jaden. $800 a table, excluding drinks. They posted invitation designs on social media, bragging. They booked flights and a hotel in Boston for late August. No matter how I begged, they wouldn't give a cent. Desperate, I prepared to find another way. But when I opened the door, 2 groups of people were standing there, eyeing each other competitively. They saw me and smiled. Hello, Student Shun. I'm from the Harvard admissions office. Hello, Student Shun. We represent MIT. Mom heard the noise and rushed out of the kitchen beaming. You're here? Komein. Komein. She called Jaden immediately. Recruiters from Harvard and MIT are at the house. Come back now. Over speakerphone, Jaden's arrogant voice rang out. What's the rush? Let them wait until I finish this round. Mom immediately posted on the neighborhood group chat, "Can't make mahjong today. Harvard and MIT recruiters are in my living room. People love drama." Soon, the neighbors flooded in, showering Mom and Dad with praise. Mom was glowing. It's no surprise, really. Jaden has been smart since he was a baby. Harvard was a done deal. You don't need to be jealous, brains are born, not made. Jaden games all day, never reads, and still scores perfect. Your kids work themselves to death and can't even break 600, right? The admissions officers tried to interrupt several times, but couldn't find an opening. 10 minutes later, Jaden arrived with a posse of sycophants. He lifted his chin. "See? I told you they'd come begging. You guys will never see this again in your lives. I'm giving you a glimpse of the world." He flopped onto the sofa and pulled out his phone. "Hold on, let me start a live stream." The officers looked at each other, then at me. "Student Shun, this is my twin brother." I had a suspicion they were here for me, but I was terrified I hadn't beaten him this time either, so I stayed silent. The lead officer frowned but didn't stop him. Jaden started bragging to the camera. "I told you I'm Harvard bound. Now the recruiters are in my house. Flash your badges, let the netizens see." He had 0 class. I snapped, "Jaden, that's enough." Jaden turned the camera on me. "Who gave you permission to speak?" "Guys, this is the twin sister I told you about. I crush her every time. But she choked on the finals. Probably won't even get into a state school." Viewer count skyrocketed. Chloe saw it and rushed over. She told me Jaden had been streaming his genius life for weeks, posting his old scores and mocking my 24/7 grind is useless. The comments were full of 666 cool and praise. But some were skeptical. Suddenly, the Harvard officer smiled at the camera. "Excuse me, student, you're mistaken. We are here for your sister, the state valedictorian, Miss Lily Shen." The world hit pause. I stood up, trembling. You're really here for me?" The officers nodded, looking at me with warmth and respect. "Lily Shen, you scored 709 points. You are the top science student in the state. We are here for you." I shook uncontrollably, looking at Chloe with red eyes. I didn't hear it wrong? Chloe was crying too. She nodded furiously. "You didn't. Lily, you did it. You really did it." We hugged and wept. God knows how many times I failed. God knows how many times I was that little bird in the storm, smacked into the mud. The Harvard officer, Ms. Lee, stood up and patted my shoulder. "We learned about your background. Compared to your excellent grades, your spirit of perseverance fits Harvard perfectly." The MIT officer jumped in. "Lily, you are like a petrel in the storm. The wind and rain only make you fly higher. That bravery is exactly what MIT wants." Jaden finally reacted. He shoved me aside, screaming, "You guys made a mistake. She can't be the valedictorian. For 3 years, she's been my loser sidekick. I even told her about our aunt's cancer right before the exam to mess her up. How could she be first?" Mom and Dad panicked. "Yeah, you definitely got it wrong. Jaden is the genius. Lily just memorizes stuff. The valedictorian has to be Jaden." Ms. Lee smiled politely. "Lily is your child too. Her being valedictorian is a joyous occasion." Mom shouted without hesitation. "How is it the same? Jaden is a boy. Lily is a girl. It's completely different." The officers' faces went cold. Mom grabbed Ms. Lee's hand. "Jaden is the better one. There must be a glitch. How about this? You admit Jaden. Lily is the big sister, she has to yield to her brother." She turned to me. "Lily, speak up. Give the spot to your brother." I laughed in anger. Admissions are a legal process. Fair, just, and public. You think this is a bowl of pot roast? I can just yield it? Shake the water out of your brains, you embarrassments. Jaden's face was purple, eyes bloodshot. Impossible. My genius system never makes mistakes. I am the valedictorian. You guys messed up. Genius system? So that's what it was. A cheat tool? I looked at Jaden. You once said 100 of me couldn't beat you. But now I won. I might have lost to you 100 times, but I won the one time that mattered. I smiled, enunciating every word. Jaden, so you were relying on a cheat code. Without your cheat, you are nothing. If life is a gamble, A cheater like you doesn't even deserve a seat at the table. One of Jaden's friends whispered, "Well said." Others chimed in. No wonder he never explained answers to us. He was cheating. Thought he was a genius? Just a fraud. The live stream exploded. Is this a revenge drama? The underdog kills the villain in one shot. I went to school with them. The guy never studies. The girl works her ass off. She deserves it. Wait, the guy told his sister their aunt had cancer to sabotage her exam? That's pure evil. Are the parents brain dead? Asking the daughter to give her Harvard spot to the son? Lily needs to cut ties with them ASAP. I had already decided on Harvard, but I made a request to Ms. Lee. Can you come to my school with me? I need to talk to the principal about my admission. I bit my lip. My aunt is sick. I need money. Our high school rewards state valedictorians with a cash prize. Usually it's given later, but Aunt May couldn't wait. I hoped for an advance. Ms. Lee nodded immediately. Of course. I'll drive you. The live stream followed us. Mr. Chong was ecstatic. Lily, I knew you could do it. I'll call the principal. If the school won't advance the money, I'll fundraise 10 grand myself. Principal Walters arrived quickly. How much do you need? About 40,000 more. Standard reward is 20,000. But given the situation and pending state rewards, I'll make an exception. Finance will advance you 40,000 today. You can pay back the surplus later. The stone in my heart finally dropped. I cried. Thank you, Principal Walters. They drafted an agreement. The local news station was there too. Just as I was about to sign, the door burst open. Mom and Dad stormed in. Wait, we are Lily's parents. She's a child. We should manage this money. Transfer it to our account. Mr. Chong smirked. I forgot you were her parents. You never asked about her for 3 years. Her tuition was paid by her uncle. Mom sneered. We gave birth to her. We have the right. She reached for the agreement. I shielded the paper, signed my name rapidly, and stood up. Mom, Dad, you surely forgot. The day after the exams was my 18th birthday. They had celebrated Jaden's adulthood all over Facebook, but ignored mine. Uncle Ben had bought me a cake. I'm 18. You aren't my legal guardians anymore. My money is mine. I handed the paper to the principal. Please transfer it quickly, Dad roared, raising his hand. I gave you life. You ingrate. I'll beat you to death. He slapped me hard. My face stung, a handprint forming instantly. I took a deep breath and smiled through tears. 5 years old. You sent me away because a fortune teller said I was bad luck. 7 years old. I had a high fever. Aunt May closed her shop to take me to the hospital. 10 years old. I broke my leg. Cousin Matt carried me up 5 flights of stairs to class every day. Uncle Ben makes minimum wage, but he bought me expensive supplements. For 10 years, what did you do? Did you buy me clothes? Ask about my grades? I stared them down. Giving birth doesn't make you parents. You're just donors. Dad raised his hand again, but Ms. Lee blocked him. I studied law. She is an adult. Assaulting her is a crime. Mom pulled Dad back, scared. Forget it. Don't waste time on this ungrateful wolf. I took the check and raced to the hospital. I ran into Uncle Ben in the lobby. The interest rates are high, but I have to take the loan. The doctor says we lose the marrow match if we don't pay today. He looked broken. I walked up and brushed a flower petal off his shoulder. Uncle Ben, don't worry. I have the money. I pulled out the card. 40,000. Go pay. He froze. Where did you get this? Did you do something stupid? I'm the state valedictorian. It's my prize money in advance. He stood there for a long time before weeping. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Aunt May didn't want to take it. I'm a burden. Keep it for college. I covered her mouth. Auntie, when I was 7, you spent your savings to save me. Mom and Dad told you to let me die. You didn't give up on me. I won't give up on you. I'm a Harvard student now. I'll make big money. You have to live to enjoy it, or your investment in me is a loss. Everyone cried. The surgery was a success. While Aunt May recovered, the final exam scores were released online. Chloe found me. I got 682. Congrats. That gets you into almost anywhere. She showed me a video. Jaden was live streaming his score reveal, hoping to salvage some dignity. Here it comes, Chloe giggled. On the screen, the page loaded. Total score, 250. I rubbed my eyes. 250. Exactly, Chloe laughed. That number means idiot in Chinese, doesn't it? It's poetic. Jaden refreshed 3 times. 250 every time. The comments were ruthless. My dog could score higher by walking on the keyboard. Didn't he say he was going to Harvard? The audacity. So his previous scores were all cheats. Confirmed. Classmates unloaded 3 years of resentment in the group chat. Jaden, 250? Accurate. Remember when he said we weren't in his social class? True. We aren't in the idiot class. Jaden raged. It was a system glitch. I'll retake it next year. Harvard will beg for me. Enjoy failing for life, loser. My parents' lives imploded. Dad's government department fired him after the video of him slapping me, and the bribery allegations went viral. Mom was fired from her cushy job for time theft. They lost their income and their reputation. Neighbors pointed and laughed. That's the genius's mom. Son got a 250. Aunt May recovered well. I paid off the school loan with the state and city prize money, 50K total, and still had plenty left. Mom and Dad ended up selling the house to pay debts and renting a small apartment. I bought a new condo in the county for Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Prices were low. It was a steal. Uncle Ben tried to refuse, but I put the deed in my name and handed them the keys. Just live there. Keep it warm for me. I bought Cousin Matt the newest iPhone to replace the money he tried to give me. I broke the pin you gave me. This is a trade. That night, I had a dream. Ding. Congratulations. You have acquired the genius system. Bind now to pass any exam effortlessly. No thanks. It works for the bar exam, MCAT, anything. Jaden used it. And got a 250? That was a glitch. I'm upgraded. Still no. Why? Because life isn't just exams. If I get everything for free, I'll become useless. I want what I earn. The system was silent. Perhaps that is why the program crashed. A skyscraper without a foundation will always fall. I woke up. Sunlight hit my desk. A note I wrote was taped there. Perseverance is power. Epilogue. Chloe went to Yale. At the reunion, we walked down the hotel stairs. She was tipsy. Lily, you wanted to beat Jaden, and you did. But you know what? I always wanted to beat you. She sighed. I never did. I held her arm. You did. You stayed my friend even when you wanted to win. That makes you better than me. She hugged me. I admired you. I was terrified of falling behind you, so I ran faster. Even if I lost, I'm proud to be your rival. And I thank you for pulling me back from the edge. Mom and Dad paid for an expensive cram school for Jaden. He retook the SATs exams. He scored 300. Improvement. He tried again. 320. I commented on his post, keep going. In 20 years, you might catch up to me. He blocked me. Years later, during a holiday visit, I saw my parents. They looked old and broken, working menial jobs to support their adult son who refused to work. Jaden looked at me with pure hate from the window of their rental. I drove away in my own car, Aunt May and Uncle Ben laughing in the back seat. I wasn't afraid of him. I wasn't afraid of failure. Life is long. We can always win the next round.